We're having
Hello, friends. It's the Cinemondo podcast. You guys ever watch a Dracula movie?
Never.
There's a
I would go say, the Bram Stoker novel came out like in 1895 or something, 1897.
Yeah.
How many
Dracula
films?
Yeah.
Starting maybe with, if we count Nosferatu, through today, have there been over 500? Under 500? That's my number.
Well, if you add in just general references to Dracula or
vampires,
the style, the type of vampire that Bram Stoker created, it's endless. Dark Shadows was
That's
Dracula.
True.
Basically, Barnabas Collins was Dracula,
Right.
And it's like everything else. Of course, he's in the public domain now, and you can go ahead and make your own Dracula.
And there's also Nosferatu, which is Dracula.
Yeah.
And then I got married, and Burke made a film for my wedding for
That's
the
right.
movie theater based on Nosferatu. So even I have contributed to the number of Dracula movies that have been made.
Yeah.
Kathy stars in a version of Dracula. Yeah, for sure.
Wedding of the Vampire.
That'll be a top 10 in my vampire movie list. But it's such
a great idea. It's just the basic core of the idea of it. It is like the ultimate monster, because he's got the thing. We've talked about Frankenstein, and we've talked about other kinds of monsters like King Kong, where you have sympathy for the monster.
Yeah.
You kind of think Dracula is kind of an attractive type of monster, but you don't really have a huge amount of sympathy for him because he's basically just going around killing people. And he's not like a misunderstood. He's like a powerful monster. He's a monster he's able to, control people, and he's a scary monster.
See, I think he's an attractive, alluring monster.
Well,
that's what. Yeah, but he's going to kill you.
I know, or make you a vampire. Then you can live forever and always look good.
But the whole tragedy about living forever that they bring up in a lot of Dracula movies,
Still.
And you can never see the sun again, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. And one of my favorite Dracula film Draculas, we lost recently. Udo Kier was in Blood for Dracula, sometimes known as Andy Warhol's Dracula, which I still think that's one of the best Dracula movies. It's funny. It's dark. It's like a dark. Yeah. It's a dark comedy, very, very dark comedy, but it's also really pret's touching and interesting about the frailty and the sadness of being a vampire.
Well, maybe this film is called Dracula: A Love Tale. So I think we're dealing more with the romance that is part of his character, and how he seduces women or men, who knows. But this is a film that was directed by Luc Besson, who's a French filmmaker.
Very interesting film director.
Yes, and he has a lot of style. He's done a lot of really cool films, and it was released back in France back in July of 2025, but it's coming here February 6th to North America. And it stars Caleb Landry Jones, who's an American actor. He plays Count Dracula, but basically everybody else is European or French. Christoph Waltz from Frankenstein. And
he's always great.
Isn't
that funny? He's in two classic monster movies all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's very strange. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see this because the idea of a love story. So it might be a little less horror, but more sort of another side of thing. But Luc Besson brings a lot of style and seduction.
Yeah, his side of Dracula.
Maybe, but it's maybe not. But I'm interested to see the trailer because he's and I like this actor who you've seen before, but he's not a big name, but he might be a really good Dracula, Caleb Landry Jones.
Okay.
And one thing we have to remember, not all that long ago, it was pretty good while ago, but Francis Ford Coppola made a Dracula that I think was incredible.
Really
aside from the sketchy accents from a couple of the lead actor.
That was Gary Oldman, right?
Yeah,
Gary Oldman's accent was great.
Winona Ryder.
He had this weird, arrogant Eastern European,
right, Slavic vibe.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was really threatening in that film. I think he was incredible. He saves the film from the questionable casting. I mean, I love the other actors. I love them. Not going to name them. We don't have to name them, but they weren't cast very well in this. They should have been different people playing those characters.
Yeah, but they were kind of like pop culture phenomenons at the time.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting choice. But in the meantime, we have this one, which has a bunch of unknowns in it for the most part.
Yes.
Or European actors. Let's take a look at Dracula, A Love Story.
All right.
Dracula. All right, here we go. Are we ready?
Ready.
And hold the work.
My order has been studying this for 400 years. And you're the first to have captured a specimen alive. These creatures are the result of a divine curse.
What exactly did I capture?
A vampire. For 400 years now, we've been looking for the source.
Here you are.
He comes to find his princess.
Count Dracula. Centuries ago, I asked God for one favor. I will fight in his name, but I ask him to spare my wife. He took my princess. Tell your God that until he brings me back my wife, my life no longer belongs to him. Pure souls can be reincarnated. Since then, I have lived on, waiting for her return.
She's in danger.
He's here. Let him come.
If we succeed in destroying this demon, all those who he's bitten will be freed from the curse.
God sent you here to kill me.
God sent me here to save you.
Okay. That was a lot. That trailer was a little too choppy for me. Too fast. I feel like that could have had a little more elegant, lingering shots and a little more lead into the character. I feel like it was just bam, 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 bam. And I feel like it showed the whole story.
Well, yeah.
Plus,
Not that we don't know it, but I feel like we saw the entire thing.
And there was like so many different timelines that they're trying to show, like, modern day, at least for, it just felt very all over the place. I mean, I love Christoph Waltz. I think he always elevates everything, and it seems like he's the main character, at least in this trailer, as opposed to Dracula. So I don't know. It just feels like kind of like I've been there, seen that, done that.
Yeah, that's the impression I got too. I felt like Bram, the Francis Ford Coppola, Bram Stoker's Dracula was stylish in a way that I kind of prefer, because Coppola didn't use any digital effects. That's one of the things that's kind of notable about that film. He made it in the way that they would have made an old film, and he wanted everything to be practical. Like there's a scene where there's a diary that has a train, and you see the train, and the train passes in front of the diary, and it casts a shadow on the pages of the diary. It's a beautiful shot. And they built it with, I mean, it's not digital. It's like they made a little train and they put the lights, and they built a giant diary. And they did the effects the old way. There's even like shadow puppets during the fighting scenes in some of it. That it's just a beautiful film. And Gary Oldman is so powerful in that. And then I see this trailer, which seems to have some of the stuff from that film, like the cross bursting into flames, even a bleeding statue. There's a statue that bleeds, and the still life of a statue that gets splattered with blood. There's a bunch of tropes in it that I felt like I think we've seen those kind of things so many times. I like Mark, like you were saying, it's like I feel like I've been there already.
The thing I found that was sort of interesting to me, it almost feels like a Dracula origin story where we get to see him from the past when he was, human, and he's in love with this woman, and then, they kill his wife, and then he goes on a rampage, and I guess he becomes cursed. I'm not sure how this works.
That's the Coppola one. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember the backstory, a big backstory with Coppola's. Was there?
Yeah, he goes
off
to war, and his wife thinks Winona Ryder thinks that he's been killed, and so she throws herself out of a window, and he comes back, and he hates, you were fighting for God, and then of course God has betrayed him, and so he turns his back on God and defiles the church and goes, that it's a great opening.
Yeah, but it's just an opening scene because this one looks like it has a lot in. Like it looks like it's mostly about him being human, and then he's coming back to find her. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like there's a lot more of him not being a vampire. I don't know.
How many times can you retell a story that we all know?
Yeah,
it's more like, okay, we're going to do a Dracula movie. Okay, how do you make it different from the other 472 Dracula things that are out there?
Exactly.
How do you do it? I mean, it's hard to do that.
Well, I think, if you love these novels or you love these stories, which I think, and then, everyone wants to do their take and they want to bring that to the movie. I can see that happening. I mean, it would be fun to kind of take a shot at Dracula or Frankenstein because they are so ubiquitous, and then you can bring something new, hopefully, or not. Maybe it's just a traditional retelling and contemporary with better actors. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just thinking of Frankenstein. Del Toro took it and made it a little bit different. He did. It's just a different take on it.
Well, it made Frankenstein less of a monster and from Dr. Frankenstein.
It's more of a relationship between the monster and Frankenstein. Here, again, it's a trailer. It seemed kind of choppy. Maybe there is something there that's different. But just visually, it seems like something I've seen before, and there was a lot of CGI in there. That's neither good nor bad. It just was a lot of Gothic stuff. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I have posters.
Let's take a look.
All right, we have this one. They're keeping it. I wish the trailer was this quiet, like this kind of quiet waiting.
Right.
I would like to see a little bit more eeriness, a little less of this pow, 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 pow. And that worries me because I feel like our trailer is getting that kinetic. I worry that the movie doesn't have a lot of material, but I thought it was a unique take because the actor, what's his actor's name again?
Caleb Landry Jones.
Landry. I think I have seen him in a bunch of other stuff. It's like he's an unusual choice because he's an unusual looking guy. So he looks he's almost good looking, and then he's not. You can't figure it out.
Right.
Then we have like this kind of cool graphic one. I like that.
I've seen this one. Yeah.
That reminds me of that. What was that film I walked through at midnight, that Iranian filmmaker. I can't remember the title, but it had the same sort of poster, which is a cool poster.
A girl
walks home alone. That was amazing. That's a cool take on a vampire.
Right.
It was this incredible film. So this is cool. I like how they show the fangs and he's like the silhouette. Then we have the classic, we have the poster that has everybody in it, little star cell. We're kind of keeping Dracula under wraps a little bit. As Dracula, but you see him on the side there on the left, it looks like. So he's in the poster twice. And then we have Christoph Waltz. It's not a super great montage, I just have to say. I mean, it's a little, it looks like they didn't have a shoot, clearly.
Right.
Use stuff, and so all the lighting's different. They're trying to make it match. But I'm not sure why all the blurring, like it feels like some wasted space at the bottom, transitioning to the people in the snow below. And the snow below is kind of an interesting scene that's getting literally kind of buried down there, but it has that trail through the snow, which is super, super cool. I'd like to see more of that. But so there's that poster. So not super psyched about the marketing for this movie, but I'm intrigued by the movie itself because Luc Besson is always entertaining.
It feels like the poster matches the trailer, and there's at least that last poster. They're trying to throw the kitchen sink into it,
Yeah.
Has that vibe.
Well, Kathy, as a designer, I want to ask you a question. Let's show that very first poster that you showed. Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think about the letters in the title treatment, in the name Dracula, sharpened into two fangs with blood on them? Do you think that is that something that you approve of, that you would have approved of as an art director?
Yeah, I think a little extra touch like that would be okay for this movie, but it makes it a little comical.
That's what I'm thinking. It looks like, Mel Brooks presents.
But again, like I feel like a little bit, but I feel like Luc Besson is not like the super heavy director. Like I feel like he's sort of, he brings a little, didn't they say something in there? One of the most bonkers Dracula or some kind of weird thing in there. I don't know. I thought I saw a weird quote, but it's like, I feel like he's going to bring in some weird kind of craziness to it. So it kind of, why not give a little extra? Like, did they use the sea? Did they do it? They didn't give the blood on that one.
They didn't put the blood, and then the next one is red. So.
Yeah. So they're kind of trying a lot
versions,
different things. But no, I'm okay. A little extra storytelling doesn't hurt.
I have a thing. I have a pet peeve about logos that depict the thing. Like if someone is like, I want a logo for my plumbing company and I want it all made out of pipes,
Yeah, that's a little graphic. It's the graphic. It's okay. But yeah, there's
it's like a Love at First Bite, I think, did that with George Hamilton and Dracula.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. It is.
Anyway, listen. Well, I will say this. Luc Besson is an interesting filmmaker. Yes. I've seen most of his movies. I will definitely see this. And
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, for sure. So
yeah, definitely. Just you can't really judge by a trailer sometimes. Sometimes, trailers.
That's true.
So I'll it's a great story. I mean, I'll always watch a Dracula movie, and that's what they're counting on. Hey, let's make Dracula. Everybody wants to see that. So we'll see what happens.
But there's so many. When you think back and go the classic, the Hammer Dracula films, and all of them. I mean, there's so many that are good. There's a few that are a little bit too much of their time, like the Frank Langella ones and things like that, where the sort of styling, the hairstyles and things kind of date it or whatever. But there's so many classic stories, and I really like the Francis Ford Coppola one, and the TV series that happened recently I thought was really good, interesting, kind of different take on it. The kind of dirty vampire, the dirty like the disease version of vampirism, where it's like the Black Plague.
Interview with the Vampire.
And Interview with the Vampire. Yeah,
those have been great. Stot's coming out soon. Also, I love Nosferatu. Eggers Nosferatu. He did a great job kind of reinvigorating that, I thought, in a really cool way. But he's an incredible filmmaker, and he was true to the story without getting too flamboyant, but he just brought some beautiful filmmaking to it. So I think there's still lots of, shall we say, life left in the vampire.
Oh,
maybe so.
Yes, maybe forever.
It is it's a franchise that may be undead.
It'll never be dead. It's a vampire. It's not gonna die.
Yeah.
All right, let's know what you think of Dracula.
Yep. A love story.
Yeah.
Love story.
Looks interesting. I mean, I'm always gonna be there for a Dracula.
I know, who's kidding who. We're gonna see it. I don't care how bad the trailer is. All right. All right.
Bye guys.
Bye everybody.
Bye.